Good afternoon, folks. So I'm here in Texas, visiting with some of my supporters, friends. Absolutely beautiful day. Had a amazing ride through Oklahoma yesterday. I uploaded some of that conversation a little bit earlier yesterday, and basically just right now we're planning out strategy for the next few days, actually trying to lay things out over the next week or so, and getting caught up on a few things, some security updates, things like that for computers and such, dealing with some other issues like that. Yeah, that was a cow, uh, by the way, that you just heard. I'm in Texas. Uh, I'm not really I'm not really somewhere you would expect a cow, but sure enough, there's a cow. And I can confirm at least one chicken. Next door, that cow sounds like it needs to be milked or fed or something. Doesn't seem very happy. Anyway, some pretty interesting stuff going on. I got a great feedback from I got a lot of feedback and a lot of activity from the tweet that I put out that followed up with from General Hayden. Millennial Millie, you can see her at millennialmillie.com. Her and her team put together some stuff, including some of the stuff that I shot with an interview with her. I saw sections of that today on Tori Says show. She does, Tori does a really, I have to give you props for that, Tori. I don't know if you'll even see this or not, but you've put together a really nice product, right? Very, very nicely done. I like how you started out initially with a little lower 1/3 showing tweets and stuff that people make, get the audience, get some people viewing, and then put together your show. Did a really good job. I lack that enthusiasm. I'm technically qualified to do this, but I have no desire to be on here one moment longer than our government or somebody picks up this ball and does what they're supposed to do, does their job. And just like I was doing mine, and I still am doing mine, I was an information assurance security officer with the Department of Defense for damn near a decade, and actually over a decade. And people in very high authority abused their powers, jeopardized our national security, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fix that. Now, in the process of trying to fix that, I've discovered that, much like Tori discovered, the deep state, actually, there is such a thing as a deep state. And a deep state being an archetypal, kind of like a hierarchy that is coordinating and organizing this. And yeah, there is. And, I kind of had some willful blindness. I acknowledge that. Obviously, I mean, the ShadowNet itself, the application, you can look at the actual flyers that I have on freedomstream.tv in my website, victimoftheswamp.com. I post them everywhere. You can actually look at those flyers, though, and see that that the ShadowNet's designed to provide a COPS, a common operational picture, for that very specific, that very hierarchy that I'm talking about. So, yeah, didn't see that one coming. Probably did, but I really didn't. I was pretty naive thinking that the work I was doing for my country was actually for my country and not for the profit of the owners of the company I worked for. And I wouldn't normally naively say that, but the owners of the company I worked for, the owner of the company I worked for was someone who I had a lot of respect for simply because he was a four-star general, General James Jones. I kind of gave him this respect that he clearly didn't deserve, and demonstrated that actively by placing his company before our country and national security. I have an issue with that. I'm going to try to resolve that. I'm going to give it the best shot that I have, because this lowly ass PFC has certainly bitten off probably far more than he can chew. But you can ask any one of my 2.5 ex-wives. I'm a stubborn pain in the ass. That's for sure, if nothing else. And pride myself on my honor. Made some people some promises when I left South Korea. People who believed in me, believed in the system, made them some promises that I wasn't going to drop this, and I won't. You know who you are. And one of these days, we're going to get this resolved. We're going to expose the people and hold them accountable for their actions in South Korea, and most likely for their actions going all the way through the 2016 election, using the applications that I helped develop for them against American citizens for their own profit, utilizing the vulnerabilities in our election system to game the system. These guys have been doing this for decades, even before the internet. I get that, I'm not naive, but the internet has provided a fuel for these influence operations that has never existed before, and I'm quite confident that mankind does not have the ability, the knowledge or understanding to even come close to figuring out how to use it without probably destroying ourselves in the process. We think it's so simple. Social networking, social media. We think, I'm just tweeting with my friends from school and stuff. But what it truly has become this weapon. It's been weaponized. Wouldn't be surprised if actually the people I worked for even built out organizations like Facebook, especially based on their actions and the relationship that they have with them. Open public relationships with Facebook partnering with Atlantic Council, whom at that very time they partnered with Atlantic Council to restore election integrity worldwide. They're partnering with my old boss, the guy I built a ShadowNet for, Obama's national security advisor. Folks, this is as jacked up as it gets. And as much as I don't want to sit here and just kind of repeat the same thing over and over, I'm actually really pleased. I would argue that I would state that that we are starting to get people to follow this, and we are starting to get interactions even outside of the social media platforms, who I'm sure I'm on very borrowed time with, and who I'm sure I know for a fact several of them have been throttling my stuff and being very being very difficult, to say the least. And these are people that I have listed in a Ketam lawsuit, right? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, they're listed in my lawsuit right along with Obama's national security advisor, Atlantic Council Chairman General Jones. So, as much as I think, oh, well, I'm just repeating this and people are just going to think it's this or that, it's so much bigger than just social media. And it's so much bigger than, just deleting your tweets or deleting your YouTube videos, right? Which suck, because they kind of like seem we should have a, it kind of seems that we should be able to have these conversations. But at any rate, maybe we will someday. Again, thank you very much for following. Thank you for sharing these. We're putting together a strategy right now to try to maximize and to try to get this message out and to try to expose these people. All right? I need your help, folks. You can go to patreon.com/the ShadowNet Hacker. You can go to freedomstream.tv. We have neck gaiters. We have mugs, nonpartisan mugs, Trump 2020 and Biden 2020 mugs. Well, both of them say, ask me about Obama's ShadowNet. But no, so we are keeping it nonpartisan. I think it's a good question, though. Somebody needs to ask, a reporter needs to ask Joe Biden about the ShadowNet. Because it was done on his watch. And it's also already pretty conclusively been directly tied to Biden through Atlantic Council, Hunter Biden. All right. So at any rate, I'm going to sign off. Getting low on battery here. I'll upload this. Please like, please share. If I can get if I can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I can do these live while I'm riding my bike. I think that'd be pretty cool. Be able to even interact with people at that point. Although that might be a bad idea. Deer jumps out in front of you. You kind of try to stay focused on the road. But y'all can interact amongst yourselves and maybe. And I'd like to even do an interview in the near future. And from my bike, from Skype. Do a Skype interview from my bike through somebody else. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Not sure with the current internet access I have from the bike through the laptop that I'd be able to do it with the picture-in-picture with the road thing, with the view of the road and the view of me talking. That would be really cool, though, in an interview. But at any rate, thank you again for your support. Please go to the Patreon site, patreon.com/ShadowNetHacker. You can really use your support there. Go to freedomstream.tv. You can order the mugs. You can order all sorts of stuff. A portion of everything on freedomstream.tv goes to us helping stand up the veterans nonprofit, safevet.org. Very cool. All right. So thank you very much, folks. Good day, and God bless.